How y'all doing? I'm Paul Ryan, your host of the Across the Cowboys podcast. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And to our regular listeners, welcome back. With me, as always, is my co-host, the freshest co-host in the world, Mike The Pig Crum. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I feel like this game was supposed to be the one while I was at Disneyland. What happened this game is what typically happens when I go to Disneyland. It's like the team waited a week, waited for me to get back to do it. I was like, the curse is broken. And the next week they were like, it was just delayed.
I hear you, Mike. Before we get into our discussion tonight, let the people know where they can find you on Twitter, sir.
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Before we discuss any football, guys, to our regular listeners, you already know we have to start off with one segment and one segment only. Of course, I'm referring to Meatless Monday. Mike, what was on the menu today?
It's day 8 of the reset. So I got Tuesday, Wednesday left. I'm going to stick to most of the principles until I get this other 15 pounds off. But, with the ability to have a coffee or a red line if I need a little energy, or if somebody wants to go out, I'll go have a meal, But for the most part, I'm going to stick with it. Today, I did what's called a puffy omelet, which is basically an omelet with herbs, but you separate the egg yolks and egg whites, and you whip the egg whites with some sparkling water, and then you fold them back into the egg yolks. And then when you like, it becomes really like it looks like soap in a bathtub. Like that's what it looks like, the foam, but yellow. And then you spread it in the pan and you cover it, and then it cooks like an omelet, but it's puffed up. And you fold it, you put the herbs inside, then fold it over. It's really, really delicious. And also, I love doing it because when it comes out right, I like to take that picture and be like, look I nailed it.
Have you ever taken a picture like of using Michael Simon's recipes and tagged him and let him know that you used his recipe book?
The first time I did the reset, I did every meal basically. I pictured it, put it in the on Instagram and tagged him in it.
Has he ever liked or responded?
Yes, and I've actually been on his show. I was one of my recipes was on the chew back before it went away after the Mario Batali stuff happened. But yeah, I made a baked ziti recipe, and that recipe got on the show. I had always tagged them. Anytime I made a thing, I tagged the chew, and you hashtag it you on the chew, and they saw that recipe and was like, hey, this would fit one of the things of the show. Do you care if we use it? And they ate some of it. It was made by the cooks, in the by Culinary, as they're called. They're called Culinary in the TV shows. So The Culinary made it, and then the hosts ate it on the thing. And I remember Mario Batali was like, "You're doing a good job, my friend."
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I recorded it. I had it for the longest time until I had to switch DirecTV boxes, and then it had to reset all my stuff. But yeah, I still have a picture of it in my phone from when they took it. It says Mike Crum, and it has the recipe and everything.
The show for morning television. That was a good show.
That was my show, man. That show taught me more about cooking than probably any other thing until I became someone who was cooking. And then I kind of, figured some stuff out on my own. But like for the basic, like, I don't know what I'm doing, I just need to follow a recipe. The Chew was that guide for me. I made a lot of their food.
Well, so do you still have that baked ziti recipe? Was it a Meatless Monday thing, or was it just something you make?
No, it had meat in it, but it's funny. I put it on the Chew, and they had a theme on there. Now the show's gone, so I could say it. But they called and they were like, basically come up with a story that fits this theme for that dish. And I didn't really have one, and they basically were like, just make one up. And so I made one up about how we had baked ziti every holiday and blah, blah, blah. When really I had made it like 2 times, ever. Yeah. I did lasagna, same flavor profile, just different noodles, basically. but they wanted the baked ziti dish. And so I just made up that, oh yeah, my mom would make this every year. And I took her recipe, some bullshit. So if anybody ever sees that episode and has seen that, they could be like, this guy's a fucking liar. I'm not actually on. They show my dish and they say my name and they tell the story, but it's just them trying my dish. It's not me actually there.
That's still pretty cool, man.
Oh, I loved it, dude. It was a huge thrill for me because that was probably my two of my top 3 chefs were Batali and Michael Simon. So like they both have tried a dish that I made. Like that's
really freaking cool, dude.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? That's like
yeah.
I wish I could try something now that I'm like better at it, you know. But it was really cool.
Well, Mike, I enjoyed that story more than the discussion we're about to have. But that's really cool again, man.
Let's just go to top 5 90s movies, comedies, because that was really hard. You can go through like 20
dude, so hard. Yeah.
And we can just pretend like the other part doesn't exist. We'd be just like Dallas and just not do it, not show up, not do our job.
Yeah. Right, not show up, huh? All right, well, Mike, let's go ahead and get after it, sir. After the game, man, I'm curious, what was your initial reaction?
I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't even finish the game. Like I had it on record, was watching other stuff, and then I went back like 30 minutes after it was over and was like fast forwarding going, why the fuck are they still in the game? Why is that Prescott playing right now? And Deron Bland had heard it. Now, I don't mind. You're playing the rookie. Get him reps. That's fine. But like, he's kind of a big deal right now. Like it's him and me. So maybe not play those two. You know who needs work? The rest of them. So it was like, I just wanted the players out by about the midway through the third quarter. I was just like, okay, we know Philly's got theirs. Niners are blowing them out. We're good. Just get them out of the game. And I kept going, I get it. You want them to do something good and build some confidence. Yeah. It's too late for that. The players if they're going to do that, they're going to try to win. They're going to try to make, spectacular plays. They're not just going to do the whatever because they're pressing. So you're just, it's not going to work out. Take them out. And that was my thought from about halfway through the third quarter on. And I didn't even finish the game till way later.
Well, Mike, I'll be honest. I missed kickoff. I was helping my wife do laundry, and I went to go watch the game at my mom's house. So I missed the kickoff. However, during the game, I started falling asleep in the first half. Then I started. My mom and I we do food delivery, but we both do it. And so she was kind of bored with the game. So she's like, "Do you care if I go and deliver food? And we'll have dinner later on." I said, "No, that's fine." So I started working with her instead of watching the third quarter. And I didn't even listen to the end of the fourth quarter. So similar to my feelings in this game, if it's safe to say, I was disinterested.
Yeah, that's a great word. Yeah, disinterested. Yeah,
it was terrible.
It's there wasn't a lot behind the game because you more cared about the main thing of that game was don't get injured, no injuries.
Yeah,
and then you don't want to play like that, obviously, but
right.
It was if Philly had lost or Niners had lost or they were down or something, maybe you're more interested, but you could kind of tell the Giants weren't playing. It just wasn't, it didn't feel like they really had a shot to change.
Exactly.
And so while playing that bad is not good at all,
right.
The game was like, I feel like how I felt like went into their bodies. That's how they played.
Absolutely. So looking at the game, Mike, what went wrong in your opinion?
I think they kind of went at it like a preseason game. Like Tennessee, they were pretty vanilla too, to be honest. I thought that they could pretty much stay in the game playing vanilla and then take their guys out. Maybe Cooper Rush does some stuff once the backups come in. But then they started playing so poorly that they kept like, okay, let's get a drive. Let's get let's put 2 drives together, then we'll take them out. Okay, all right, we got 1 drive before half. We got a touchdown. 1 more drive to make. And and it just never. They kept pressing, like trying to make the bigger play than what was there,
Yeah.
and I just feel like that the coaches kept giving them a chance to, hey, let's get some rhythm going, let's get into one, and at some point it was just like, nah, dude, it's not worth it. Get these guys out.
Yeah. You know, when you look at it, Mike, turnovers, no run game to speak of, and Dak just being as off target as I've ever seen. I mean, that was about the name of the game there.
Yeah, this kind of gets into the next question, I think, but Dak was just off. It was just not a good game. It was
Since
yeah.
his injury, though, he's allowed to have a game like this, I feel like, dude.
Yeah, I
Since
mean,
coming back from injury.
Yeah, overall, considering he was like 60% third down conversions on like the best quarterback in EPA per play over expected. Yeah, the number one offense, like, he played like shit. I'm not defending it. The interception was not a tip or anything like that. It was a bad throw, ill-advised, and he was bad the whole game. So, yes, that is true, and also it's true that quarterbacks have bad games. So,
Yeah.
hopefully
Well, we should give some credit to Washington because they were playing like they were getting ready for the playoffs. It was like yesterday was a playoff game for them.
Washington and Detroit both showed up with nothing to play for, and handed teams losses, and in one case eliminated a team. So, kudos to both those teams for showing up when they didn't have to.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched the end of that Detroit Packers game, but the way Rodgers looked, how he was kind of taking it all in, walking in the tunnel with Randall Cobb, and it was almost like he was saying goodbye,
He wouldn't give the jersey up. Jamal Williams won the jersey swap, and he was like, I'm going to keep this one. Because I think the last game in Green Bay. Yeah, they caught it on audio.
Did you kind of see him? Obviously, you watched the game, but it looked like he pushed a cameraman out of the way because he was right in his face with Randall Cobb. He maybe not pushed him, but made a camera guy get out of his way. Didn't want a cameraman near him, so him and Randall Cobb could talk and walk down the tunnel together one last time. Did you see that?
I missed that. I did see them walking down the tunnel, but I missed the interaction with the cameraman.
Yeah, it was strange, man, because it was obvious that Aaron Rodgers was irritated by it because the guy was right in his face, and that was clearly a special moment. You know what I mean? And Rodgers was removed him. I don't know. It almost looked like he did push him. It was weird.
He might have. He might have been like, dude, get the fuck out of here. We got, this is my last team. Let me enjoy it with these people, with the players and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get back to the Cowboys discussion. Sorry for that, guys. But, you were talking about it, Mike. Was this Dak's worst performance of the season?
Easily, in my opinion, because the other bad game was Tampa, but that was against Tampa's defense back then. This was against the Commanders, the rookie quarterback, no Jonathan Allen, they had 3 defensive backs out. They should have really taken advantage of this team, and instead they got whooped on. No,
agreed. Yeah, this is much worse than the Tampa Bay game, man. But again, credit to Washington because they got, they had Chase Young back, Montez Sweat came back. Their defensive lineman was looking nasty.
Yeah, honestly, that's going to lead right into the answer of the next question. So go for it.
Why do you think we played so poorly, Mike?
I do. I think Dak had his eyes down at the pass rush the whole time. I don't think he trusts the new formation of the offensive line. He's got a new center, new left guard, new left tackle, and I felt like it affected him. I felt like that happened last year when he couldn't get protection. He did not play great. So I think that's what it was. I think that was now other factors. I think he started to try to make, go up by 14 points every throw when you were already down 7, and that pressing really hurt him. But overall, I think he was worried about that offensive line.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. I talked about how this is kind of like a playoff game for Washington. They were at home. They had key pieces from their defense coming back, and they just had the energy and effort that we didn't have.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty stunning.
Yeah. This is a question by you, Mike, and it's in regards to Kellen Moore, but What do you think Kellen Moore's infatuation with running the ball up the middle is?
My hope for this last game, because at least other games, like he runs up the middle, but he does other stuff. This game felt like basically every run was just that run, no matter, even if it was Pollard in. And so my hope is that they did a vanilla, game plan to try to, did not
Throw
give
Tampa
any
off the sim.
tape for Tampa,
Yeah.
So that's my hope. Otherwise, I don't know what. And my thing is, if you're doing that, then take the starters out. Like, you don't need to play them then. So I don't know. It was a weird game plan.
Yeah, my answer to this question is a question, Mike, and I was going to ask you: was this a ploy to throw Tampa Bay off? Because, that's what I was going to ask you. But I did see an interesting video by Dan Rupert where he was talking about the run game being non-existent, and Connor McGovern had a rough day. Tyler Smith had a really rough day too.
Yeah, it was not good across that line, and man, I could just imagine what they would have done if Jonathan Allen was playing. Their best defensive player didn't play, and they did that to us.
Yeah. So you looking at the coaching staff, Mike? Did they have a good game plan? Do you think?
The last two games on both sides felt really vanilla. I feel like that they thought that they could play vanilla games with their talent against Titans and the Commanders and win games in the end with just outperforming them, and it bit them in the ass. And hopefully they come with a better game plan versus Tampa Bay, because they're going to need it.
Yeah, well, when a team is that out of sync, it's kind of hard to see what the game plan is. So I don't really have an answer to this question, but when you're that out of sync, man, you can't really evaluate what the offensive game plan is.
Yeah, that was just, Dak throwing like 38% completion percentage, just not, that guy's a 60+ percenter, it's just not usual. There's nothing you throw that tape away.
Absolutely. There's not a lot of positives about this game, Mike, but if there was one, what did you take out of this?
I've gambled since I was like preteen, as you guys, I'm sure know from being on this podcast. And so way before Collinsworth, I always say Chris the Fox guy. What's his name? Collinsworth. I don't remember. He's the talk show guy. Does his Blazing Five. Colin Cowherd. There we go. Not Colin.
Okay, yeah.
Colin Cowherd. He calls it the good teams getting embarrassed theory. And I always followed that. If a good team, and Dallas is a good team, you can say what you want about them, but they're a legitimate playoff team. They have talent and everything. They're good. Typically, when they get embarrassed, the next week, they come out and play really good football. That doesn't mean they're going to beat Tom Brady. You could play really good football and lose to a team as talented as the Bucs are with Tom Brady as their quarterback. But the one positive I take is that I believe that the Dallas Cowboys team will play a good game next week. I don't think they're going to have a performance like this. I think they're going to bounce back and they'll play well, and we'll see if that's good enough to beat Tom Brady.
The positive for me, Mike, is we had the bad game that we don't want to have in the playoffs, and we worked out all the kinks last week.
That's the hope. That's exactly the hope. If it's something where it was a one-time thing, somebody sent a thing, and every time we've lost, we've won. We've gone on a 2 or 4 game win streak. If we go on a 2-game win streak, we're in the national championship. Hello, hey, you got killed. And then if we go on a 4-game winning streak, we won the Super Bowl, because it would be 3 straight right now. So I have a feeling they're going to bounce back well from this performance. I think that's a positive.
Hey, the fact that we haven't lost back-to-back games all year, man, that's impressive.
With Cooper Rush playing 5 games, mind you.
Exactly, yeah. All right, Mike, looking at this performance, does it change how you feel about this Dallas team?
No, the Jaguars game is the one that I kind of was like, okay, and since then, these 2 Titans and Commanders games aren't going to change anything. But, since that game, I looked at the team and I said, okay, when they're good, they can play Minnesota and be good and whip on one of the top playoff teams. But they're real inconsistent. So they could lose to Tom Brady in the first round. And that's how I felt about the team since that Jaguars game, and nothing has changed since then.
No, my feelings haven't changed a bit about my feelings about this team. This team have not changed a bit. Yesterday's performance meant nothing to me. I mean, of course, you don't want to have your last regular season game go like that. Who does? But no, my feelings didn't change at all. I just felt like Washington. This was, like I said earlier, their playoff game.
Yeah, I agree. They played their Super Bowl there, and they might have been playing for their coach's job, and they love Rivera.
Exactly, rallying around their coach too.
Yeah, they had motivation and showed up, and we did not.
Yeah. All right, Mike, here we are with your views from the sidelines. And this week we're going to discuss how did Sam Howell look, and remind the people what you thought of him as a prospect for those who don't know.
I don't think it's enough to give you a clear, anything about what he's going to be. He showed a powerful, accurate arm down the field on a couple of deep throws, which was nice. You like to see that. He's athletic, so he can run the Philadelphia Eagles style offense if he needed to. But I just don't know about him. I liked him coming out of college. I know Dallas did too. Dallas considered him in the fourth round, but they had Ferguson, higher and a bigger need, and they would have probably got him if he was there with their first fifth round pick. As a prospect, I wasn't I think if I remember right, I'd have to go through my notes. I think if I remember right, I had him as a 2-3. I didn't think he'd fall all the way down to the fifth or fourth or fifth. But, but I wasn't like, oh, this guy's going to be good. I knew they had to see more. He had the athletic ability. He had the arm.
Yeah, he made some good throws yesterday, dude.
He did. He looked good. He looked like a well-talented rookie.
Yeah. I mean, do you view him, though? I know we can only base it off of one game, but is that did you see enough yesterday to maybe give him a chance to be the starter? Not saying not have any competition, but give him an opportunity to compete for the starting job, or do you say no? If we can get a quarterback, we get a quarterback like a Derek Carr or something.
They'll get a quarterback. They'll bring in a veteran. Did he do enough to keep you from getting the Derek Carr type veteran compared to like the Jacoby Brissett? You bring in Derek Carr, he's the starter. You bring in Jacoby Brissett, the rookie's battling with him to start.
Yeah, there's a battle.
I don't know if he did enough to keep you from going out and get a Derek Carr.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, here we are with one word. Mike, use one word. Our Week 18 performance has me feeling blank heading into the playoffs.
Anxious.
Oh,
I don't want to watch any or listen to any sports podcasts previewing the games and doing this and that and doom and gloom about the Commanders game and Tom Brady's coming in. We've never, that's basically the whole thing is we've never beat Tom Brady and we're 1-4 in grass and look how we're playing and we're too injured and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I don't feel like hearing that this week. I'm just anxious. I want to get the game started, and let's see if they can win and keep playing. They got 4 games to win. Let's see if they get a chance to. Last year we annihilated a team before going in to the playoffs, and we looked like trash, gave up 23 pressures or whatever, and got punked. So let's see what happens this time.
What are your thoughts? It looked like we'll be playing on Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night. I don't love that. I hate having to wait the extra day and all the way till at night. Like, it sucks.
Talk about feeling anxious, man.
I know. Having to go through that extra day. I hate it. I'm not happy about it. I wish it was just a Sunday game, honestly. And then say we win and Minnesota beats Giants. Now we got to go to the bye week Philly team, and we're on short rest. Like, it sucks.
So, Mike, I'll use one word. Our Week 18 performance has me feeling unbothered heading into the playoffs, Mike.
That is not like a lot of Cowboys Nation. Cowboys Nation was about ready to start. I started my draft stuff, and so it's like they after that game they were like, "Okay, man, give me your prospects you like for Dallas right now," which I have a few of them actually. There's a guard and a corner and a wide receiver I think would fit. So couple of first round guys to look out for maybe if we're at the back end of the round.
Is Josh Downs the wide receiver?
It's the kid from North Carolina, I believe. Let me check. I got it in my notes there.
Josh Downs.
That's it. Speed. We need speed. You know, and he's small and he has issues against press. I get that, but like we have the bigger, go get it. We have Lamb and we have Michael Gallup. We have Simi Fihoko. We need some electricity. Like Josh, he's a gadget guy that can play all three levels of the receiver. You don't have to run gadget stuff for him.
And right. He can run routes. He can run downfield. He can behind the line of scrimmage, middle of the field, all that.
Yes. I'll tell you the guy I like, though. Osiris Torrance, the offensive guard from Florida. Look him up.
Dude, that's like a intimidating name.
Oh, dude.
I don't know why.
He's like 6'5", 330. And while he dominates while he's in a phone booth, he has enough athleticism to get outside. And I believe that, like, if you go into next year if you had a Tyler Steele's bully a year in the weight room at left tackle, and then your left guard is Osiris Torrance, woo, man, that's some beef. And some beef that can move a little. Like they're not, it's not Leary, or even McGovern's not like a quick mover, So, yeah, man, that would be such a good. And I know we need wide receiver. I know we need corner, but man, if I can just get Dak behind a line that can block well for him, and like, they're going to dominate the line of scrimmage, and like Dak's going to have time and the run game's going to be good. Man, please, just let me have that.
As much as I'm looking forward to playoff talk, I do always love our off-season discussions, man.
Oh, I'm ready for it. I am. You know me. I won't do it till like I say December, but I don't really get into it until like halfway through December. Then I kind of get an outline. Okay, let me find some first guys. What positions? Let me find the positions I know Dallas is going to look at, and let me find some guys that fit in their first 50 picks thing. Do they come from a big school? Are they the right size? Are they the right positions? Is it a position of need? And then I find that, and then I kind of take a break for the holiday, and then just this last like week or so, I've really gotten into digging into the players that I have lined up,
Fun time of year, sir.
Yeah, I love it. Devin
let's
sorry. Let's go.
No, you're good.
Evan Witherspoon's another guy I have a huge like crush right now on. And I know he's 6 foot 180, so he doesn't make that 200, but neither did Anthony Brown. And he's versatile, slotting outside. And man, I know most people would go, man, you don't want the first thing for you to talk about as a corner is his ability versus the run. But I just love it because he's so slender. But he's 180, but he's not a great press guy. Like, he doesn't have powerful punch, but you can't block him. Like, if a wide receiver tries to block him, he disengages and gets a tackle. Like, he is a stops guy, not a tackles guy, not a Jalen tackles yards down the field. He gets stops. And he's also one of the smartest guys as far as knowing route combinations and stuff. He can do man and zone. Like, I remember last season, he was like a second, third round projection because he didn't really have the the interception and pass deflection numbers. He was known as a run defender that was pretty good coverage. He busted out this year, and I remember watching him, and I was like, this guy's going to sneak into the end of the first round. Like, he just is. And I know there's a bunch of corners. He just is going to get there. And I'm like, if he could be Dallas at 32, ideally,
right.
Man, if it just give me one of those three right now. Those are my three. Like, this fits what Dallas wants. The receiver's a little short, but they need that. They need speed. You could tell they know with T.Y. Hilton and trying to get OBJ that they need some dynamic athleticism.
Yeah. Well, Mike, the energy has already improved now that we've done with the Cowboys talk. And I think we saved our energy for the best part of the show. I'm excited for this week's top five, like I usually am for most top fives, but this one especially. This week we're going to do our top 5 90s comedy films.
This was brutal. I
so
basically
hard, dude.
I had to guideline it where I was like, okay, I'm only going to pick one Jim Carrey. I'm only going to pick one Adam Sandler. I'm only going to pick one Bill Murray. And then leaving out stuff like Nutty Professor. Don't Be a Menace to South Central, Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. Night at the Roxbury. Like, and thank God there was a couple like Coming to America and Major League that made the very end of the 80s and didn't sneak into the 90s because there's no way I would have kept them off my list. So this was brutal. I wrote this list out like 6 times, adjusting it. Like, okay, what am I going to put here? What am I because you could just do 5 Jim Carrey movies, like easy.
You really could.
Yeah, there's 4 Mike Myers movies, and none of his. Austin Powers, Wayne's World didn't make my list. Like,
mine either, man.
It's insane. But
and the second Austin Powers is like a legendary, dude.
Oh, it's hilarious.
The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Hilarious. One of the funniest movies of all time. Man,
Absolutely.
Let's get to it.
All right, Mike, what's number 5 on your list?
I'm still deciding which Bill Murray movie I want. I have Groundhog's Day, which is like, for the movie wise, is one of my tops of all time. But I think like laughter wise, I have more stuff that I laugh at from Kingpin.
Oh God, dude, yeah.
Where Randy Newman's sitting in the urinal taking a shit. I think I can figure some stuff out for myself. And he's taking a shit sitting in the urinal. And Bill Murray's hair at the end when it's like, so I think I'm going to go Kingpin 5 and apologize to Groundhog's Day, which I believe is a better overall movie. But as far as comedy, like there are some parts in Groundhog's Day that you've seen Groundhog's Day.
I've never seen it from beginning to end.
There's one where like everybody knows Bill Murray and they do an auction and he gets like a couple $1,000 for the night with him. It's like crazy. And his buddy is, friend at the station is like, I'm going to go up there. And they're all, what can I get for this guy? And like, doesn't talk him up or anything. And the old lady's like, 2 bits. And they're like, I got him. And that makes me laugh. But overall, Kingpin's like crying laughing. So I'll give that the nod for 5.
So Mike, I wish I would have gone over my list 6 times because I did it about 3 times. Number 5, I mean, that's a classic, but I'm sitting here looking at him like, man, as much as I love this movie, I feel like there's probably one I love more, but you can't go wrong with this one. I feel like it would be a better fit for a different category that we might do in the future. But number 5 on my list, I have Friday.
Oh, Friday is great. I don't mind that fitting in there. It's a comedy.
Mitchell
would have Friday in his top 5. Oh, for sure. You would have Friday in his top 5. Don't Be a Menace to South Central would be in his top 5. Man.
What do you have? Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That wouldn't make his top 5. It almost made mine.
It almost made mine too.
That's the list of movies that didn't make it is like
long, dude.
Dude, it's crazy. I'm surprised.
Nutty Professor didn't make either of our lists because that's a classic, dude.
That legit is like 6. Like
Yeah.
that one was a fight with Kingpin.
But I haven't
I
seen
wanted
it
a
in
Bill
so
Murray.
long. Yeah. I haven't seen it in so long. I kind of, was like, okay, I feel like I should have movies that I would sit down and watch regularly that I've seen in the last 10 years. And Nutty Professor is not one of those movies,
Yeah, I totally get that.
All right, number 4, Mike. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Oh, you did get it in there.
I forgot. Like I said, I went over the list like 2 or 3 times, but I forgot that I made the switch because initially I had Nutty Professor and I had The Night at the Roxbury in here.
Mm-hmm. So difficult. That scene from Austin Powers where they're looking through the tent and they're looks like they're pulling this stuff out of his ass. All-time great, man. All-time great. Hey, wait. Oh, I thought we were going to do where we get a quote from it.
Well, okay, so did you see that? Because I thought we would, but then I was like, man, I'm having so many. There's a couple of these I haven't seen in so long that I don't remember a quote, so I just took it off, but I didn't realize you saw it already.
Yeah. I just forgot because I did the list so many times. We can do that if you know a quote.
Okay, do a quote for your next one, and I'll try to guess.
Okay. Is it me?
Yeah, number 4, you.
Number 4. Okay. Let me think which one. It doesn't have to be a quote from the main character, right? It could just be
no.
Okay,
yeah.
It's let me see. I don't want to fuck it up. It's is it he's losing his mind? It's something like he's going insane and I'm reaping all the benefits as the curtain closes on it on his face. Do you remember that one?
Going insane and I'm reaping all the benefits.
And the song that's being sung at the time is Love Stinks. Yeah.
Oh, is it a Wedding Singer?
That's it. Yep. That was my Adam
Was that
Sandler.
John Lovitz?
Yes, John Lovitz. That's the curtain. He comes on the worst song. Ladies' night on the wedding night. Ladies' night. Oh my God. Just the writing of that so brilliant. Ladies' night.
I'm so glad you have Wedding Singer in there because I was like, I saw Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, all those. I'm like, I swear I don't think any of these are as funny as Wedding Singer, honestly. Like, as far as repeatability watching.
My other 2 choices were Waterboy and Happy Gilmore because I was lining up like, okay, let me line up my top Adam Sandler, my top Jim Carrey, my top, and I'm just going to pick one. Because otherwise you could just put 5 Adam Sandler movies and everybody would be like, yeah. 5 Jim Carrey movies and everybody would be like, oh yeah, sure. 5 Mike Myers movies and everybody would be like, oh yeah, that's great. So I was like, I'm going to take one of each of those 3. And the only reason I didn't get Eddie Murphy was my favorite comedy is really his was 80s. In the 90s, like Beverly Hills Cop was action comedy, not like comedy. And then he came out with Nutty Professor, and it is brilliant and deserves to be on a top 5 comedies. But I was like, I'll do the other 3 guys who were more 90s guys, Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler. Well, Bill Murray was forever. I just wanted to get Bill Murray on there because I friggin' love him.
I'm so glad you had Kingpin in there, dude, because that's so underrated when it comes to comedies, bro.
It's great. It would be amazing if we had 10 different movies.
Right.
It would be so great.
Yeah, I could easily do 10, but man, I feel like that'd be a long conversation.
Yeah, but I mean, if like my 5 are different than your 5, then we have 10 different movies.
Oh yeah, right. That's true. That's true.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, so Mike, number 3, do you have a quote or do you want to just say the movie?
I'll do a quote. What is it? Everyone's been so nice to me here. Well, that's because that's because your boobs are huge.
Is that Liar Liar?
Yeah.
They're in the elevator, right?
Yeah, the elevator with the girl who played Emmanuel, who had Krista Allen, who was friggin' my fantasy in forever back then in the day. And that, and of course, this is the Jim Carrey selection. And what you want to talk about difficult? Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber. But Liar Liar has always been my favorite. I just
Yeah.
That is my Jim Carrey movie. Like, if you made me pick one, I love that movie. Him not being able to lie and his like the way his physical mannerisms and he's hilarious.
I need to watch that again because it's been at least 20 years since I've seen that.
It's so funny. And going through when he's going through that little thing where everybody's talking to him and he can't lie to him, and he's just like, well, at least it distracts you from your face or off your head, the attention off your head. And I can't with that movie, I swear. And the outtakes at the end are just, they're brilliant, dude. I should point out that I didn't do any action comedies like Rush Hour. So I did straight only comedies. Otherwise, Rush Hour would have been tough to keep out of there. Or True Lies is another one that's hilarious, but I
saw that in like 90s comedies. I'm like, I've only seen it a couple times. I don't remember it ever being funny.
Yeah, there's a few. I remember I was looking. There was a few in there. I was like, comedy? But I think True Lies and Shanghai Noon and Rush Hour are all comedies, but action comedies. And so I was like, I'm going to just do, because otherwise it's too much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to give you a line from my next one, but this is the only line I remember. Again, this is another movie I haven't seen in a long time. I can't remember this one having that many one-liners, but maybe it's just because it's been so long. But here we goes. Have you seen my baseball?
Is that the Andre the Giant? Did you just do? I feel like you just did Andre the Giant for Robin Hood Men in Tights.
No,
but I can't. Is it? There's something about Mary.
There's something about Mary.
Yes, that's it. I just made it sound like I called Andre the Giant someone with. Never mind. I'm not going to guess.
Am I crazy, or is that movie not really super quotable?
No, it's not. I mean, it's hilarious, but it's hilarious and kind of like the what's happening comedy more than the writing part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
With the hair sticking up and just everybody like losing their mind, or like it's too much. Like too many people are going after this girl too hardcore, dude. It's like it definitely belongs in any top 5. It would, man, there's so many 90s movies. Like, I didn't get a Ben Stiller one. I'm actually disappointed in that. Like, I should have done Happy Gilmore and knocked them both out.
Ben Stiller's been in some really funny movies, dude.
And that's probably the funniest. There's something about Mary is, well, I'll take Tropic Thunder. Yeah. Thunder, matter of fact, when did Tropic Thunder come out?
Oh, 2000s.
Tropic Thunder come out? Oh, it was the 2000s. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm safe. Because that I would have adjusted my list on the fly. But when Jack Black, man. My ass. This is so good, dude.
All right, let's move on before we get ourselves in trouble, Mike. Now, here's number 2. Okay. Bumblebee Tuna.
Bumblebee Tuna. I know this. I know for sure what this is. Bumblebee Tuna.
Guano.
Oh, Ace Ventura. Whoa, Guano's the second one.
That's not Bumblebee Tuna. Is not from the second one too.
Oh, maybe they are both. You have this. Ooh, or is Ace Ventura your top 2 movies? You do. Okay, let me just ask you: is the second one your favorite over the first?
I think I have it only just because I think there was more funny parts. I think the first one is just a classic, but I think the second one honestly is funnier. I really do.
Okay, I do love Tommy Davis. Quick, throw me a spear! Whoa! Oh! One in his leg, right in the other leg. That is one of the best, dude.
Tommy Lee Davidson, man, he was so great on A Living Color, dude.
Oh, legend. That the dating game with Wanda, with Jamie Foxx as the girl, where he goes leaping into Jim Carrey's. I literally have that on my phone, screen recorded to my phone. because I love that scene. Matter of fact, I'll put it on Twitter and I'll tag you in it.
Please do.
It is so brilliant. It's only the end. I didn't do the whole thing, but it's the end after Wanda chooses the person she likes for the dating game. The other two guys, walk by and introduce themselves, and it's like their reactions to seeing her. And God, dude, it is the funniest. I love it.
How crazy is it to think of what like Jamie Foxx was on In Living Color to what he's become? You know what I mean?
I know he's first of all, he was genius level comedy, but in Living Color and past that. And then he went and did like the Ray movie and got an Oscar and kind of started getting in Collateral, like bigger, like name movies. And then, he messed with Tom Cruise. You don't mess with Tom Cruise. And he kind of became, okay, only certain people work with him type. But man, his character Bats in Baby Driver, all-time great, all-time legendary villain character in a movie.
What's the movie? Is it called? Is it The Soloist with him and Robert Downey Jr. where he's like homeless?
Yes.
Violin or the cello player? My God.
Yes. So good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had that. He went from like comedy and bait and everything, and then he hit that string of Ray and Collateral and Soloist, and he was really knocking him out the park. And then, like I said, don't mess with Tom Cruise's ex. He's too powerful in the industry.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, what did he do to Tom Cruise? But now I understand.
Yeah. Went out with his ex after they broke up. Tommy didn't like that.
Yeah. All right, Mike, what's number 2 on your list? Give me a quote.
Man, this movie's quotable. Okay, what am I gonna go with? Damn, this movie's really quotable. I'm trying to get one. I always think of mine. I'm trying to get one from the main person. How about the two Utes? What's a Ute?
The two Utes. What's a Ute?
The two Utes. What's a Ute? Sorry, Your Honor. Youths.
Not ringing a bell.
All right. How about I'll give you one more. How about let me think. Damn. I want to get there's so many in this movie. I'm trying to get the what about how can are you sure? I'm positive. How can you be so sure? I can't do a New York accent.
No,
My
I can't.
cousin
What is it?
Vinny.
I've never seen that.
What is happening right now? Are you serious?
I'm serious.
You have to see that movie.
Is it really? Is it? When I saw that under comedy, I'm like, this is the comedy?
No, it's a complete comedy. It's total It's about two New Yorkers that go to the South to help a family that are accused of murder. And like, he's like basically a shitty New York lawyer that comes to the South and like, he's not used to how they live, like the way he dresses and the way, he acts just doesn't, it's how that meshes. Yeah. And then also like, he's really smart, but he's a brand new lawyer. So like, he's also kind of terrible, like, but it's hilarious. And Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei are so funny. And it has Karate Kid, Daniel LaRusso.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I highly recommend watching that, like ASAP. Like, it's still funny. It holds up today.
I'll have to check that out.
You have to. Must see.
All right, Mike, what's number 1 on your list? Hit me with a quote.
I hope you've seen this. I don't know if you have or not.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, I could just no. Let me think. Oh, the easy one. You suck. Was it 17? You suck 17 dicks?
Oh, Clerks.
Yes, Clerks. Was it 17? Did I get the right amount? I should have said.
I don't know why it was 16.
16, and he was the 17.
Yeah.
You know what I should have done? Try not to suck any dick on the way to the parking lot. And the guy starts walking. So, hey, get back here.
Oh man.
I love the Clerks movies. All three. I love the third one that just came out. I thought that was amazing. Nothing tops the first. But I love the second and third, and that had to be my number one. Clerks is like I could watch it all the time. I could like say every scene. That's what makes taking a quote so hard, because I'm like, okay, what would other people know? Because like I think the dumbest stuff is funny, you know. So it's like I gotta think of the stuff that like people know and go, oh yeah, that movie. So that's what makes it hard for me to do the quoting.
Yeah. All right, Mike, here we are, number one on my list. Here's my quote. What was all that 1 in a million talk?
Oh, Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Oh man, easily my all-time favorite comedy movie of all time, man.
The fact that somehow didn't. Now, I want you guys to understand that makes top 5 if I wasn't narrowing down each one to one selection. You know, that would beat out Kingpin, that would beat out Wedding Singer. But I was doing only one Jim Carrey, but Dumb and Dumber is.
But the fact that Liar Liar beat it out, that means that I need to watch Liar Liar again, honestly.
They're all equally brilliant. It's just my preference. And to be honest, that movie always gets me with the outtakes. As good as the movie is, the outtakes get me with that movie. Man, it just makes me laugh so much. So, yeah, I don't expect. I'm probably the only person that has Liar Liar above Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber, and maybe even Bruce Almighty. But I love the idea of it. Like, and he just does it so well.
Where would Larry the Cable Guy make your top 10 comedy films?
No, I like Larry the Cable Guy, but I like Jeff Foxworthy.
No, sorry, not Larry. Just the Cable Guy. Sorry, not Larry the Cable Guy, but the Cable Guy.
It wouldn't make top 10, but I love it. It's only because it's like my 4th or 5th Jim Carrey. He just has so many great ones, maybe even 6.
Such a crazy run he had in the 90s, dude.
And Bruce Almighty. Yeah, it'd be my 6th. And that's not a knock on it. It's hilarious. It's just he has so many great ones. What do you do, you know?
Yeah. I remember it was a while ago around the beginning of top 5, but we did rank our top 5 Jim Carrey movies, and we didn't have Larry the Cable Guy in there, but we had a pretty different list.
Just the Cable Guy.
I mean, sorry. The Cable Guy.
You got to name this episode Larry the Cable Guy. For sure.
I'll have to do that. I guess I'll switch it up. See how many hits that generates.
Yeah, Larry the Cable Guy. Everybody be like, "What? They got Larry the Cable Guy on?" I'm gonna skip it. No, just
right.
Movies, not Cars.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I think this top 5 was very fitting for the discussion we had to have prior to that.
Yeah, I agree. Get some comedy out of it because that game was straight pain.
Yeah, it was funny if you hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure every other non-Cowboys fans were laughing their ass off.
Shout out to Foots the King, but man, he was not happy with yesterday's game. He wants Michael Gallup and Noah Brown both gone. Did you see that?
Hey, if this is the Michael Gallup we're gonna get, he won't get past next year. They put that clause in there for a reason.
Remind not just me, but everybody. What is the clause?
It's a 5-year deal, but really the guaranteeds go after the second year, and they can pretty much get rid of them for a low. It won't cost them nothing to cut them after the second year if they want to.
I got you. Team friendly deal as always.
Yeah, same thing they did with Gregory. Gregory's deal had that same, type in there.
Well, Mike, man, I'm glad we had this discussion tonight, and it was nice to laugh because I needed a good laugh.
Yeah, me too. Don't stress, Cowboys. We blew them out last year, got knocked out. Nobody cared about the last game. If we beat Tampa Bay, nobody's going to care about what happened to
Exactly.
Washington. Nobody's even to think about it. So let's just see what happens. Let's see. We're good enough to beat Tampa Bay. We can lose it, but we're good enough to beat them. So let's wait.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, as always, again, I enjoy the discussion. Before we get you out of here, remind the people they can find you on Twitter.
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.